r/AskReddit. Redditors who went to jail/prison, what went through your head on the first day? My first night in county jail was surreal, to say the least. My summer of drugs and drinking had culminated into stupid crimes, and there I was. My mom wasn't going to pay bail. I had to learn my lesson. That lesson turned out to be 8 years in a maximum security prison. County jail. I slept with my shoes on the first night, thinking I was going home any day. I viewed myself as a kid, even though I was 21, that somehow it wasn't really happening. Everything was routine. Breakfast, TV, exercise, TV, cards, TV, cards, TV, cards. 6 months later they wanted to make an example out of me. 8 years in state prison. In NY you do 80% of your time, so it ended up being 6 years 10 months. That first night in state prison, completely different ball game. First, leaving county jail you're in shackles, legs shackled to the guy next to you, so if you try to run you better hope both of you are really good at convict 3-legged racing. The bus brought us under the prison, hundreds on inmates, into what I would call a factory of processing humans for incarceration. Searched, stripped, cavity searched, shaved, showered, deliced, waiting, clothed, waiting, all while hearing the noise of a couple thousand inmates above you, not knowing what kind of madhouse you're stepping into. Not much choice at that point. The most important thing I realized is, just accept it. You're there. Time will move faster if you get a solid routine and just follow direction. They can't stop your time, but through can slow it up. I've been out longer than I've been in now, and have my life back on track. I was definitely going to be dead from something stupid, so I was rescued rather than arrested. Don't go to jail, kids. Being separated from everything was the worst. How was your relationship with your parents after this? My relationship with my entire family improved. I matured in prison, dropped the so-called friends, habits, and lifestyle that led to me being arrested. My family actually liked being around me again. I think the first thing that went through my mind was, how can I mentally prepare myself to survive this? Then when you get moved to your cell it changes instantly who's sizing me up. After that, while laying on the bunk, it's I'm going to have a lot of unpaid bills when I get out. So how do you handle the bills? Call someone to help out? Hope you have friends and family that will assist. The one thing you have to realize is the world doesn't stop just because you're locked up. I was in jail, not prison. 1. This sucks. 2. Oh, the people are a lot nicer than I thought. 3. This is gonna be boring. 4. Food sucks. 5. I have to crap in front of everyone. 6. This sucks. That was jail for a month in a large pod. About 30 people on bunk beds in a large open dorm with 2 tiers. No cells, just big dorm. It was life. Some people were holes, but most were okay. Just trying to pass the time while doing their time. Played chess, worked out, did some writing. The books were all like middle school level though, and very uninteresting. My experience exactly. Scared little 21-year-old me was crapping bricks as I carried my little tub of underwear and toothbrush etc. down the hall to the pod. Put on a stoic face and marched right to my bunk. Set myself up and realized that this was gonna be boring as duck and nobody was gonna duck with me. Well, there goes my job. Also every decent job in the future. RIP bank account. Unless you move to Norway. I work in wholesales, and there's several plumbers who serve time who comes to visit, and they all make the same or more than me. Hell, even one of them was even serving for kidnapping. Did this kidnapping have to do anything with a certain princess? My dad is a storyteller and went to prison 3 times. He got out the first time for 2 weeks, before he went back for 2 more years. He got out again, before he went back in only days later for violation of parole. He never went back, because his new cellmate was an 80-year-old man who told him, I've been here since I was your age. In case you're bad at math, that's 60 years. I have no chance of parole and I know I'm going to die here. You think being here for however long you're in for is bad? Imagine knowing there's no way out. You best straighten yourself before you end up like me, son. My dad never went back. On an unrelated note, this was the same man who my dad practiced chess with every day for 2 years. I still have yet to beat my dad at chess. Spent the night in Orange County lockup. Got bailed out, but not before listening to a hardcore African American with dreads and tattoos hitching that he'd been profiled because of his car, and when he got out he was going to get the biggest damn Dodge pickup with a Dixie flag in the window and a KKK sticker on the bumper. Shotgun rack 2. Them damn cracker cops ain't never gonna pull my black ass over again. Funny guy. Completely alone apart from the camera on the ceiling. Kept feeling like I had massively ducked up over something so petty. My mind was racing so nothing made sense. Couldn't figure out how to flush the toilet. Couldn't sleep because I felt like I was being watched. Basically nothing, but my mind wouldn't shut up. I was terrified and cried a lot. I was in a holding cell for 2 hours after stealing from GameStop when I was 11. The game was returned, no charges were filed, and my criminal record is clean. Looking back, I think the police did it to scare me. It worked. Handed my passport to the guy at customs on my way through OR. Tambo. He looked at my visa funny, said never seen one like this before. And my heart kinda dropped into my stomach almost immediately. I didn't really think much, just went into a numb sort of survival mode and tried to keep a low profile. No white boy in his right mind lets himself get arrested in South Africa. Fortunately, they stuffed me in a cell with all the other illegal immigrant types for a week. As a white American, I had a kind of celebrity status I hadn't expected. Everything was cool. Pakistani Muslims sharing food with Ugandan Christians. Christians sharing weed with Muslims while I ran lookout. I kinda missed those guys by the time I got out. I got stopped at OR Tambo for having some weed in my carry-on which I packed by mistake. They let me go after about half an hour, but I missed my flight. I was broke, and so were my glasses. So I spent 2 days in the airport without food and half blind waiting for the next flight. Good times. I got put in maximum for felony assault, up to 8 years, after this dude tried to force my girlfriend, now wife, into a bathroom with him at a bar. I only threw one punch, but he wound up falling through a plate window and slicing arteries. After 2 days in holding with people coming down off of all the drugs, meth/heroin, etc, and the transfers trying to start fights with everyone, I got sent to 23-hour lockdown in a pod, which is reserved for violent offenders. One skinhead dude was in on 23 counts of various forms of homicide/manslaughter, so crap got real fast. Cell got tossed at one point and they questioned me. I didn't say crap, which in hindsight was smart since when my cellmate got back he asked a guy across the way if I said anything. Then he introduced himself to me. After that we were cool, and he vouched for me saying I was in there for some real crap. God knows how long it was before this happened. Hours tick by like days. Time stands still. My cellmate had been in for 2 of his 6 years with repeated trafficking, felony firearm, battery on an officer. Well, got back from a hearing super excited saying well, if I plead to this or that I should be able to get out in a month. He was dead serious, but inside my head I knew there was no way. Something about his conviction, while staring me dead in the eyes, made me realize that there is absolutely nothing else going on in his head but trying to get out. That night while brushing my teeth, I remember staring at myself in the mirror thinking, I truly believe I'm getting out tomorrow too. That was the most eye-openingly present yet emotionally detached pit of realization I have ever fallen into. I was lucky though. My charges got dropped on self-defense after bar surveillance showed him touching me first, so duck that. I make sure to avoid situations that might put me in that situation. I don't have crap to prove to anyone. It used to be duck cops. Now it's duck jail. I'm never going back. Here's the abridged version. 19-year-old crazy man, me, takes a massive amount of LSD for his first time. Drinks a shit ton of whiskey and passes out at his fraternity house, then awakens in a dreamlike state and proceeds to wander his university campus around 7 AM in search of a thrilling time. I acquire, read, steal a vehicle from a student attending morning classes and proceed to crash it into some mailboxes and get in a foot race with pursuing officers that ends in a scuffle in a briar patch. I was detained, booked, and placed in the drunk tank while still tripping balls, then admitted to the dorms in the city lockup for a week or so. Honestly, it wasn't too bad, and I played spades and dominoes with the other inmates until I got bailed out by my parents and placed in a wilderness rehab facility. You have been visited by the bread main doggo. You will have good luck for the next 42 years, but only if you like and subscribe to my channel.